Hello and welcome back to Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jecks, the tea drinking author who's got a very luscious cup of coffee today, just because I felt I needed a change. Last week I told you about a brilliant little company. Which company? This company, Lochby. And I gave you a bit of my history with them because many years ago I was sent this, a Bond travel gear notebook journal cover, which was great. And Lochby, being really thoroughly nice chaps, sent me this, which is basically a similar design but much more gorgeous. It's in this delicious waterproofed waxed cotton, and it's just simple and magnificent. It really is. I love it. I absolutely love it, and I'm using it every day just now. As I explained, it's rather like my old Midori Traveller's Notebook in that it's just a simple cover with elastic holding in your notebooks. And I love this. As you can see from the look of it, it has suffered a bit. It's been around the world several times. It's been to America many times. It's been to New Zealand. It's been all over the place. I always tended to carry this with me because it makes for a nice wallet. It fits in a coat pocket and it's simple. And what I've always taken with it, generally, is my little grab bag. What would be a good grab bag? Well, this has been my little grab bag for donkey's years. It's a Fat Boy, I think it's called, by Maxpedition. I think it's called Fat Boy, something like that anyway. And it's basically a simple design. It's got a zip that goes all the way round. Inside you've got lots of pen loops, you've got pockets, you've got space for loads of stuff. And on the outside, he says, trying to get it done up here. On the outside it has these bloody, pardon my French, has these blasted loops that fit onto a military bag, which is great, but it doesn't fit onto anything else as far as I'm concerned. However, it has got a handle so you can pull it out of a briefcase or a man bag, as a friend of mine sniffily described it, and it's done me quite well. But it has got problems. First off, I really don't like the fact it's got this webbing stuff on the back. It's just a pain. I've put carabiners on it, and that way I can try to clip it to a belt or to a strap, but it doesn't really work. I like the inside, but it's too wide this way and not tall enough that way. I have, for example, some pens and pencils that just will not fit. He says, looking for one. All right, here we go. Let's get a pen that is fairly typical. Now here we have a watercolor, water brush type thing. I like them because it's got a fat end that you can paint with there and a thin end that you can paint with there. I use 4 or 5 of these because when you're out sketching, they're ideal. That you just do these quickly and then you can use a water brush to soften the edges. They're really great. If you haven't seen them and you're interested in artwork, they are Tombow ABTs and they're water-based fibre tip brushes. They're great. I like taking them with me all the time. So I would like to put them in my man bag. And they do fit if there's nothing else in there. But if you've got anything else in there at all, the darn things stick out and you can't do the zip up. Which makes this a bit useless. But those same people who last week sent me that very nice journal holder didn't send that alone. They sent me something else as well. This, they call it an adventure pouch or a venture pouch, because it's something you can take with you at all times. Now, let's just demonstrate the size of this thing. It's pretty damn big. It's difficult always to give an impression of something and how big it is. So let's just empty it and I'll show you what I've got in here currently. First of all, this is the pens section. So what have I got in there? I have my portable painter palette, which has enough watercolours for me to do a full-size painting. I have a water brush, which means I don't have to carry water with me all the time if I don't want to. I have here a set of 3 of those delightful watercolour paintbrushes, Tombow ABTs. I have, in case I want to highlight something, a white gel pen, and then I can just put a little white line over any areas that I want to highlight and make stand out. I have a fabulous black pen which has platinum carbon black in it, which means I can do outlines of buildings and so on, and when I put watercolour over the top it won't dissolve and move. I have a little Twisby which has a lighter coloured black ink, which I think is Cross, which is also waterproof, but it's more of a grey colour than a black, which is rather nice. I have a pencil, which is a pencil with a rather fat lead, which is ideal for just quick sketching on the go. I love that. I have 2 pencils with very fine leads, sharpened with a sharpener, that I can demonstrate in a second. I also, for some reason best known to myself, have this in there, which is a delightful Bastion propelling pencil, but I can't use this too regularly because if I'm out and about in warm weather, it's just a bit slippery and it's not ideal. So I'm going to stop taking that with me, and in future I'm going to be taking this, which I have to review in a week or so. It's the new Kuru Toga slider from Mitsubishi, which, as you can see, has no sleeve sticking out to stab you when you put it in your shirt pocket. But when you press the top, it comes out and there's your lead. And what's lovely is, well, I'm not going to talk about it now, but I will talk about that in a week's time. But this is going to be my standard propelling pencil type pencil to take out with me. That is all that was in there. But on the other side there's another zip, and in here I have a pot of water in a spray so I can do my watercolouring. I have spare paper so I can dab water off when it's not needed. I have a grey fine liner which is superb. It's a graphic from Derwent, and it gives you a really delightful fine line that's ideal for watercolouring. And in addition to all of that, I've also got a whole collection of travelling paintbrushes, because there are times when you need a paintbrush. In addition to that, I have an eraser. No, I haven't. I've got a box of carbon black ink refills for the platinum pen. I have a delightful little, very sharp pencil sharpener, When I say very sharp, it means it gives a very fine point. I also have in here, I think, yes, an eraser, or rubber as we like to call them in England. I don't think you in America call them by the same name. I think you mean something slightly different. I've also got a little pot of white gouache for painting, and I've got a series of little odds and ends of bookmarks, paper darts and spare erasers for the back of my Blackwing pencil. So that is an astonishing amount of stuff to carry in this little bag. I'm sure you agree. So let's have a look at this. This is a bag made of waxed cotton. It has sort of a pencil case section here and sort of a pen loop section here. First off, I didn't mention this when I was talking about the journal, but I love the fact it has this yellow interior. What's that down there? More paper. Oops. I love the fact it's got this yellow interior because when it's getting dark and dusky, like it really is a little bit now, having that yellow colour means you can find things much more easily, much more quickly. I discovered that when I had a camera bag that had a yellow interior, a Kata bag from wherever they came from. And it was wonderful because it was a rucksack, it carried all of my camera gear, and when it got to slightly sort of dusky, it's gone very grey. I apologise for the fact it's rather dark out there. But it just means you can find little odds and sods at the bottom of your backpack much more quickly and easily. So, externally, 1 zip, 2 zip. It also has a grab handle, which, this will sound possibly rather pathetic, but when I touch the grab handle of that, it just doesn't feel as nice as this, because this has been folded over and moulded to make it work rather better. This is just a sort of strange bit of stuff. It doesn't feel, it never occurred to me, but really I ought to just get a needle and thread and sew that together. It would make it feel a lot better. I don't think I'm going to bother because now I've got this. So, nice comfortable grab handle. It has something that people have sniffily said is, who'd ever use that? It's got 2 clips, top and bottom. That means you can, for example, put a strap on this so you can carry it over your shoulder or over your chest. You can be as sniffy as you like. I think that's actually rather a handy and convenient way of carrying this, because if I'm out on my push bike or something, I can just put this over my shoulder and I've got a really convenient little bag. I won't use it in that style all the time. I mean, probably if I'm going up to London or something, I'll have this inside a briefcase or a backpack. If I'm out and about, it'll go in my backpack. But if I'm out cycling, if I'm out walking just generally and I want to go and do some sketching, I think just having those straps would be really handy and convenient. So let's just have a look at the interior. The exterior, as I say, is superb waxed cotton. It really feels nice in the hand. Soft, but it's waterproof as well. Or I don't know how waterproof, but the nice thing is with waxed cotton, you can just put some more wax treatment on it and it'll stay waterproof. I am very impressed, I can't emphasize this enough, with the build quality of these things. Lochby seem to be very good at their quality control. I can't see a single loose thread, any areas where there's cause for concern. It is a superbly built piece of kit. Not made in China. Now, people will tell me I'm just nasty and unkind to the Chinese, but I do not like the fact that China is responsible for so much of the world's manufacturing. This and the other Lochby gear, I believe, is all made in Vietnam. Trying to see if there's a label in here that says where it's actually built. I can't see one offhand, but certainly the journal states that it's made in Vietnam. Hang about. And here we go. Made in Vietnam. There you go. And I've been hugely impressed. So what have you got? Well, in the main area, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections to hold things. Now, obviously a lot of people are going to use these for pens. These 3 in particular are ideal for pen sized. As you can see, these ones are slightly different sizes. That's much, much larger as a gap than them. That is a bit larger than them. Now, it is one of those things where you use them as you wish. I like the fact that they're slightly different sizes because I can put different things into different locations. Inside the pen case section, as I call it, you have a divider down the middle, which is obviously what you got here. On this side, I'm going to cheat here and use a little bit of additional light. That it was very bright here only a short while ago, but now the sun has decided to not assist matters, and so I'm just going to stick my little lamp on here, and then you can see things a bit more clearly. So this side, it is only a large open section. This side, there is similarly a large open section, but with this netting. The netting is Velcro attached, and that's where I keep my spare ink cartridges, erasers, pencil sharpener and other stuff, so that it's conveniently held. So what have you got? You've got a pack which will hold roughly the same as the Maxpedition. It is slightly narrower, but considerably taller. In terms of fatness, I think they're about the same. There's no external pocket on this. Well, why would you want one, quite frankly? The Maxpedition has got this external mesh pocket. Trouble is, as soon as you've filled the thing full of stuff, you can't fit anything in there. You can't get the Velcro open, so you've got to empty it to be able to put things into that mesh pocket, or empty it when you want to take something out of the mesh pocket, which makes it utterly pointless. It's a futile effort. This, on the other hand, is enormously practical. It carries, as I've demonstrated, a huge amount of arts material. I'm also going to put my spare bits of string in there, and there's some other stuff. Is there anything I would have liked to have seen? Literally only the one, and that would be a little clip and a loop, or just even possibly only a loop. Something so I could put an S-carabiner, say, in there, so I could attach keys and know they weren't going to fall out. And when you start to get to that detail of silly niggles, it shows you just how good the whole design package is, really, doesn't it? But I am hugely impressed. Very, very grateful to Lochby for sending me this for me to review. And as you can see, I love it. I am enormously impressed with Lochby generally. They seem to make really good gear that is designed for outdoor use, looks good indoors, is definitely robust, and has the best build quality the best needlework in this case, and the nicest materials that I've seen on any carrying pouch, pen pouch, whatever you want to call it. These are the best quality I've seen from any manufacturer. And now I'd better refill it, hadn't I? After moving that light out of the way. So, now where did I have everything? Oh yes, I know, I'll start with the pens. Right, so, water brush pens. One, two, three. Pencils. 1, 2. Dark grey ink in a Twisby. Yep. Black ink in a Platinum. Graphic fine liner. That can go in with the pencils, I've decided. Sketching pencil, of course. Absolutely essential. White fine liner. Very important. What else have we got here? Oh yes, all that lot. I also tend to keep a little notebook in here because sometimes when I go out, I have been known to forget to take a notebook. And just having it here means I can be that little bit more certain that I haven't forgotten anything. I'm also going to stick my water brush in here. And having left some space, I'll put my paint box in here too. That means that the pen section is now pretty much complete. And then in the open section, one hell of a lot of paint brushes. My water spray, and then in one little Velcro pocket I'll stick my eraser and pot of white gouache for when the white pen isn't quite enough for highlighting sections. In the other section I'll have my spare ink cartridges, and a pencil sharpener, because I do carry real pencils. And then, what else is there really? I think that's oh no, paper. Spare paper for dabbing and making things okay. And then when I'm out and about, I can have my Kuratoga in there as well, but today it's in my shirt pocket. So there you have it. That is my ideal grab bag for now. And I think it's going to be for a very long time to come. One thing I do want to just say is it also ties up perfectly with the Midori Traveller's Notebook. They're almost exactly the same size. And one thing that's good about the Midori is that I have lined paper in there currently for taking notes. But I also have lots of white sketching paper notebooks that can go in it as well. There you go. Right, hope that was interesting. Hope you enjoyed that. Do please, if you have a moment and you don't mind, if you hit the like button, that will help. And then there's also the subscribe and the notification bell and all that. If you want to support the channel, you can go to Patreon, link down the bottom. If you're really keen, you can just buy me a coffee. It might translate into a beer, but who am I to say? But apart from that, thanks ever so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you again in a week's time. Take care. Cheers. Have a good one.